Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead.
October 29, 2025. Federal agents stormed a Massachusetts state office building and seized a whopping 1.2 tons of drugs and 129 weapons in the governor's office. The state's Western representative had betrayed everyone, but that was only the beginning. What investigators uncovered next would expose a web of corruption reaching far beyond the state's walls.
The drugs were literally delivered to the governor's office in Western Mass. It's mind-boggling how this could happen.
The dawn of October 29th was just like any other. Downtown Springfield was quiet until the sound of federal radios broke the silence. FBI and DEA teams surrounded the Massachusetts state office building. Agents moved fast and silently through the hallways. Their target was a man named Lamar Cook, a corrupt senior state employee working under Governor Maura Healey's office.
One of Governor Maura Healey's staffers has been charged with trafficking cocaine. Lamar Cook was arraigned in Western Mass today. Investigators say they intercepted a delivery of drugs at the state office building where Cook worked. We do have live team coverage.
The raid was the result of months of investigation. Federal teams had tracked suspicious parcels that carried the official state seal. They looked like regular government mail, but were hiding something else. Earlier, 2 of these packages were intercepted at Hotel UMass in Amherst. Inside, agents found more than 29 pounds of cocaine.
Now, the police reports include surveillance photos allegedly of Cook receiving packages with drugs on 2 occasions at Hotel UMass in Amherst, where he once managed.
Now, investigators believed more packages were inside Cook's office. When agents entered, they found one waiting to be opened. On his desk sat a sealed box, 1 loaded handgun, and $38,000 in cash. Cook was arrested on the spot. He was charged with drug trafficking, unlawful possession of a firearm, and possession of illegal ammunition. Cook promised to serve, to protect, and to lead with integrity. This wasn't just criminal, it was pure betrayal. When those sworn to defend the system begin to corrupt it, the whole foundation begins to crumble. Lamar Cook was not a random employee. He was the deputy director for the governor's Western Massachusetts office. His job was to oversee public operations. Instead, investigators say he helped move cocaine through state mail systems. Prosecutors confirmed that the seized cocaine matched known cartel purity standards. During his arraignment, Cook pleaded not guilty. His bail was set at $25,000. The governor's office quickly fired him and called the incident a breach of public trust. But federal sources hinted that this arrest might just be the beginning. Similar parcels have been logged in other government buildings. The question was no longer who mailed the drugs. It was how deep this network had gone. The words integrity sweep began appearing in federal notes and briefings. Federal agents dug deeper into Cook's digital records. On his government laptop, they found encrypted spreadsheets named Snow Lines. Each line listed parcel weights, delivery dates, and routes over the course of 14 months between Amherst, Springfield, and Boston. Every package had official seals and coded labels. The discovery shocked investigators. The cocaine seized in Springfield was not the first. It was part of a chain. Cartels were flooding the streets with meth tablets disguised as Adderall, indistinguishable to the untrained eye. Fake pills, fentanyl-laced sticks, meth crystals, all traced back to Mexico. In total, federal agents seized over 500 pounds of narcotics tied to the Sinaloa cartel. Officials described Cook's operation as a distribution network hiding inside government systems. Each parcel looked legitimate. 19 shipments had even used the state's own delivery system. Within days, the investigation widened. More offices came under review. Federal teams began searching other government facilities, tracing every courier and vendor linked to Cook. Federal agents executed more than 20 search warrants across Massachusetts. Raids took place between 5 and 7 in the morning in Springfield, Amherst, Holyoke, and Boston. Targets included regional offices, storage depots, police officers, and private contractors connected to the state's courier system. Everyone played a part in a network designed to smuggle cocaine discreetly into Massachusetts communities, schools, and homes. Inside these facilities, investigators found duplicate vendor accounts and shell companies registered in Providence and San Juan. On paper, the contracts looked like normal business maintenance. In reality, the money was being routed to hidden offshore accounts. By the time the sun rose, at least a dozen state employees had been arrested. Officials would not release names, but internal audits confirmed that the network was way larger than anyone had first believed. Investigators suggest that the packages of cocaine originated from violent paramilitary drug syndicates who convinced officers to become dirty cops. What we have uncovered is only a fraction of the whole story, and things run deeper than anyone expected. Subscribe to our channel to stay updated, because you won't believe what happens next. Inside a federal command post near Worcester, agents coordinated a massive raid across Massachusetts. Simultaneous operations hit 14 targets in just 14 minutes, including auto shops, warehouses, and disguised storage sites. Stun grenades, helicopters, and tactical teams subdued armed suspects, including dirty cops. By sunrise, the results were staggering. 47 arrests, 1.2 tons of drugs, 129 guns, encrypted phones, and coded financial ledgers. Investigators uncovered 4 main distribution corridors hidden within logistics companies and financial trails leading to casinos, shell companies, and even non-profits laundering millions. The operation revealed a cartel empire operating openly within communities, homes, schools, and businesses, generating $220 million annually, affecting thousands of households. Public reaction was swift. Local newspapers called it the collapse of standards. Talk radio stations described it as the biggest integrity crisis in decades. Opposition leaders accused the government's administration of negligence. Her supporters argued that corruption was not partisan, but cultural. Within days, more state offices came under review. The Ethics Commission began reopening personnel files. Background checks were redone. Access cards were suspended. By the end of the week, 17 state employees, including veterans and detectives, were arrested. Suspicion alone was enough to end careers. Inside the State House, the atmosphere turned cold and tense. Office doors were sealed, laptops were seized, entire departments went under audit.
If I were her, I'd be calling for that investigation. A, because the public deserves answers, and B, because I would want to fix something that was broken. And if you viewed yourself as accountable to the people to provide answers, you would do that.
As the scandal spread, new voices began to question how this could have started. Gubernatorial candidate Michael Kennedy spoke publicly, calling for a full investigation into how Lamar Cook was hired in the first place. He said the public deserved answers, and that the governor's hiring process must be reviewed from top to bottom. He also mentioned that if a system allowed a man like Cook to slip through background checks, then the system itself was broken. I would be calling for that investigation, he said, because the public deserves answers. Kennedy described the issue as a failure of management and leadership, pointing to recent turnover within the governor's cabinet as another sign of dysfunction. His comments added new political pressure on the administration. As the investigation grew, Massachusetts began to look less like a state and more like a courtroom. The scandal had shaken public faith. Beacon Hill faced a test of integrity it could not ignore. Lawmakers rushed to pass a new law called the Public Integrity Reform Act. It created an independent body with the power to audit any government branch without warning. The bill passed quickly, 72-3. It was a rare moment of unity driven by collective shame. Governor Healy announced the creation of the Temporary Integrity Task Force. The group began reviewing courier routes, contracts, and procurement records across the executive branch. They uncovered more than 2,000 irregular transactions. Many were not criminals, but all showed a lack of oversight. An internal memo described it in one line: a culture of assumed honesty without verification. Public anger soon turned into disbelief. A Massachusetts Institute poll found that 61% of voters believed government integrity had permanently declined. Another 24% said it never existed at all. In Amherst, the former Hotel UMass, once a site in the trafficking route, was turned into a drug recovery center. Officials called it a symbolic act of redemption, though some residents said it felt more like damage control. "We don't want poetry," one protester said. "We want accountability." Every new policy carried a silent disclaimer: integrity reviewed. This story was never just about drugs or one man. It was about trust. Trust in the system. Trust in the oath. Trust in the seal of the Commonwealth. That trust had been broken from within. It's about all of us. Every town that thinks it's safe. Every badge that forgets its duty. Massachusetts did not fall to foreign enemies. It crumbled, undone by those who thought their position made them untouchable. So the question remains, if corruption can reach the governor's own office, who guards the guardians? In Massachusetts, justice still flies, but only after integrity crashes.